Hello, this is Reverend Sharleece, Bellagosi, and having a blessed Sunday. I hope you're having a blessed Sunday too. And today I want to talk about having a godly attitude, part 6, being just and impartial. As you well know, this is a 10-part series involving love, trustworthiness, faithfulness, encouragement, kindness, just and impartial attitude, edifying, holy, prayerful, and emphasizing or comprehending attitude. To review previous lessons, we talked about kindness last week out of Psalms 117 and 2, Proverbs 19 and 22, and Genesis 21 and 23, and I have it printed out here so you can see it. One thought about kindness is, now therefore swear unto me here by God that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness that I have done unto thee, thou shalt do unto me, and to the land wherein thou hast sojourned. And that's Genesis 21 and 23. Encouragement came out of scriptures 1 Samuel 30 and 6, and 1 Thessalonians 5 and 11. One thought is, wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even as also you do. And that was 1 Thessalonians 5 and 11. Faithfulness was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and those scriptures came out of Matthew 25 and 23, 2 Samuel 22, verses 22 through 25, Matthew chapter 10, verse 22, Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 1 through 68. The thought that I want you to carry from that as a review today is, for I have kept the ways of the Lord and have not wickedly departed from my God. About of your personal feelings, because that's what God wants us to do. Be just and true, but in our truth, we don't tell truth because we know it's going to tear a person apart. If that is what it's going to do, and it does not need to be divulged, we don't do so. Because we walk in love. Love is the foundation of everything that we do in the Bible. And love does no ill toward his neighbor. So whatever love we show is supposed to be kind-hearted. And again, we all get in our own flesh, like with our spouses, our boyfriends, our fiancés, whatever, girlfriends, as the case may be. We forget that and we say things that we don't mean, that are hurtful and painful. We do things that we shouldn't do that are hurtful and painful. And then we got to get back and realize that this is not the godly attitude. This is not the right spirit. This is not going to make this relationship grow. Or it could be a friendship. So we got to back up and try to get ourselves right to deal with that person. I was reading on Twitter this very interesting thing, and I did share it because it's true about all of our relationships and about what we're talking about, how these godly attitudes is going to help us grow in our relationships and grow as people of God. Someone put, I'm trying to pull it up now, but take a second, because I don't remember the exact wording. And it was, again, in relation to marriage. Just so happens my computer is working a little slow. It says, the problems that arise in your marriage aren't a test of how strong your marriage is. They're a test on how strong your marriage can become. So when we're having these issues with our relationships, whether it's friendship, like I said, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, or marriage, it's a work in progress. If we really want that relationship, it we fall out of our godly attitudes and back in our godly attitudes when we realize that we're headed in the wrong direction. But we can stick it out if also our parent-child relationships, the relationships that we really want in our lives, by striving to practice these godly attitudes and by realizing that it is a test of how strong that relationship can become if we just work on it. Okay, so ways we show just or impartial attitudes. I have a picture here. It says, "Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled." So we do need a hunger after that righteousness, after that just impartial attitude, actually after all the godly attitudes, because it makes our lives better. And we are glorifying or uplifting God. So ways that we show just impartial, by showing mercy, just like Psalms 37 and 39 said. Show mercy. When we could destroy a person's life, showing mercy instead is a just and impartial godly attitude. Giving. If you have it to give, it don't. People always think when you say give, they think money. It don't have to be money. Like I said, it could be time. It could be clothes. It could be food. It don't have to always be money. Because most people aren't rich. And even if they do have money, they have bills. And they have to pay them. So it's not always money. And another way that we could show just and impartial godly attitude is to treat everybody the same. Let there be no confusion. You wouldn't treat uh, your neighbor like you treat your wife or your husband, but when say treat everybody the same kindness or fruits of the Spirit, the godly attitudes that we talked about previously that we're talking about today, you could show those to everybody in your walk of life. Of course, you won't, like I said, you won't be as tight as you are with the person that you might marry because both of you become one person. But when you treat everybody the same, there's not things like discrimination or racism. In your dealings with these people. You listen to a white person just the same way you listen to a black person, or you listen to a black person the same way you listen to a white person. You think a black person just is as intelligent as a white person. Gay man is just a man like a heterosexual man. You don't discriminate. You don't have prejudice feelings toward other people because that's not of God. That's of the world. Now, there's some good biblical examples. One biblical example is King Solomon. And King Solomon, the best example was his judgment of the two women who came into the court talking about the baby, the one baby was both of their babies. They were saying they were the mother of that one baby. And King Solomon couldn't decide who was the true mother of that child, so his decision was based on the foundation of the whole Bible, love. He said, okay, to his guards, put that baby on the table, cut the baby in half. And what takes the head, what takes the tail? The mother of the baby, the true mother of the baby, said, oh, no, 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 please don't hurt the baby. She can have him. She can have him. And the other woman was like, oh, yeah, I won. All right. And was gloating. And then that's when King Solomon said, no. This woman who said don't hurt the child is the true mother of the child, because only the true mother of the child would care about the child's safety. So that's how he made a just and impartial decision in the Bible. All right, another one is Joseph. It's normally well known how Joseph's brothers treated him, how they were jealous of the dream that he had where he would be ruler over them and they would sit under him. So they sold him to slavery. At first they wanted to kill him, but one of his brothers had a heart and just could not do it. So they sold him to slavery, which was bad, like killing, but I mean, at least he lived through it. And so Joseph went through his tested trials during this time of being a slave until he interpreted the right dream and became the second highest man in the land, which was what his dream was in the first place that made his brothers jealous all those years ago. And he was faced with a decision when his brothers came before him during a famine for food. He remembered them, but his brother did not know, his brothers did not know who he was. He could have, and I mentioned this before in another sermonette, Joseph could have chosen right then to throw them all in jail and to make them slaves and make them suffer and never give them a drop of food or water to drink. He could have took right then, that moment, right then, to punish them, get his revenge. But instead, what he chose to do was to show mercy. First, he showed mercy by not doing any of those bad things that I said he could have done. And then he gave it. He gave them food, water, clothing, a nice home, because he's like, y'all can come here and live with me now. We can be family again. And he treated them the same. Which, like I said, it could have went very differently for them. And there are some people who would have said that they would have deserved the opposite treatment. But Joseph is a really good example of a just and impartial attitude. And as always, I can't emphasize enough, because this is what carries me sometimes through my hardest times, and when I'm starting to slide off in that godly attitude into the wrong direction, or as some people do during bad situations, we fall into a pity party. I always got to remember that I know one person who will never never give up on me, and that's God. He is the one person who will never give up on me when other people give up on me. Or you, for instance, other people give up on you, whoever it is, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your fiance, your husband, your wife, whoever gives up on you and just can't take it anymore, they are not willing to go through, you know that God is not going to give up on you. So, this has been a message by SD Bellagosi Ministries. Remember, there is no problem that's greater than God. Depend on Him for everything. You can survive every situation, whether it be good or bad. Pray, give God the glory, and be blessed.